get us ready, the lead Fox soccer analyst, Alexi Lalas. Thanks for joining us.
Good to see you.
You're a saint, by the way. I was watching the previous segment. It's amazing what you put up with.
Oh my gosh, let's spend this whole segment talking about that. What I put up with?
I have no idea what the hell you guys were talking about.
Guess what? Neither do I. So that's fantastic. All right, set the table for us. Let's put basketball aside for a second. Set the table for us. What should we be getting excited about? We're 30 days away right now. For people that are really sort of climbing on board and getting ready to start rooting, what do you think?
Well, I know for a fact that you guys love a good party and a big party. As a matter of fact, I saw you last night at a huge party, so I know that you like a good party. This is a party for the world. It's happening in 30 days. The world is going to, whether they're physically there or just watching it, they are going to descend on this country of Russia, and everybody's going to celebrate and have a big party, and you want to be there. And whether you have a team in it or not, you are going to be drawn. You're going to be drawn by the individual players that we have, whether it's huge names like Messi and Ronaldo and Neymar, or whether it's just emerging stories like Iceland coming through or Egypt and these teams, and you will gravitate to whatever float your boat. It could be the uniforms. It could be how good-looking the players are. It could be the backstory, which we will be telling you about.
It's basically March Madness, but with a soccer ball.
Oh my God! Yeah, it's on. Yeah, March Madness.
If it were
like
only every 4 years, and the entire world were into it. And listen, if you are a sports fan, even if the stakes are this high and the players are this good, it is captivating. Even if it's not your favorite, like your go-to sport. Like, I don't care if you love tennis. If you're watching Wimbledon final at its highest level, it's captivating. All right, listen, I need you to tell me about my team. You know I'm rooting for Mexico this year. U.S. didn't make it. Mexico's my team this year. I'm a little worried about Germany in the group stage. Tell me what I need to think about with Mexico.
So it's an interesting pick. They're in a very interesting group, as you mentioned, with the defending champs, Germany. And then we have Mexico, South Korea, and Sweden. So it's a really interesting group. I do think that Mexico comes out. They are going to be under pressure, as Mexico always is. The most underperforming national team, in my estimation, given the history and the talent that they have. You got incredible players coming through, even players that you can see week in and week out here in Major League Soccer. The Dos Santos brothers from the Los Angeles Galaxy, Carlos Vela from LAFC. So there's the MLS side of it too. I'm not worried about them playing against a team like Germany, because I think they play up to the competition. I'm more worried when they are going into a game. Yeah, when they look at South Korea and say we're better than them. That's when they get into trouble. But I still think that they find a way to come through.
Germany in the same group as them. Can Germany repeat? I love Germany because why, Nick?
What's not
size?
Size. Oh, you like the big soccer players. CC likes big athletes.
I mean, when they get off the bus, they're very impressive. Can they repeat?
They have some of the best players in the world. Obviously, the defending champs. I know you were talking last segment about how difficult it is to play with a bunch of good players. Believe me, if you're not a good player and you get to play with good players, it's the best thing in the world. If I were to be able to play with Germany, I wouldn't complain or whine at all, and you would feel you would not feel sorry for me.
You have to bring back the big hair.
This is also, I know, right? This is also a team that could potentially bring 3 different teams to the World Cup and still compete. That's how much depth and talent that they have. So they're fun to watch.
If CC likes size, I am kind of a sucker for a good-looking player, and I'm just going to throw this out there: Ronaldo. Let's talk about Portugal.
Exactly. Size doesn't matter. We all know that. So Cristiano Ronaldo, one of not just the most incredible athlete, most popular athlete, but just one of the most popular people in the world. Leading a Portugal team right now that's coming off of winning the European Championship. I don't think that they're going to win the World Cup, but Cristiano Ronaldo is obviously in the conversation for one of the greatest players ever to play the game. If he were to do something great in a World Cup, in the same way that Messi right now, we know he's one of the greatest ever to play, but he's also playing for Argentina, and if he were to win the World Cup for Argentina, it completely changes the conversation. For Messi in particular,
that would be his greatest feat.
It would be the greatest feat because he is always in the shadow of Diego Maradona, who won the World Cup. And they are both diminutive. They are both left-footed. They are both attacking goal scorers. And they are both playing in the number 10 jersey for Argentina. So you're always going to be compared to Diego Maradona. It's not fair, but it's the way that it is. And until he actually holds up a World Cup, people are still going to say, yes, but Diego Maradona won the World Cup.
And Messi's had some listen, this is a guy who's in the argument for the greatest soccer player ever. He's had some tough moments wearing that Argentinian jersey. He had a couple of years ago, I think, he said, listen, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. How important for him, legacy-wise, is a good tournament? Now, obviously, if he wins it, it's a different discussion, but that they advance to the group stage, that he plays well.
You guys were mentioning earlier that the pressure on athletes and the global aspect of this tournament, and the world is going to be watching. And he not only carries the burden and the pressure of Argentina and leading Argentina to the promised land, but as I said, this inevitable compare and contrast with Diego Maradona is going to happen, not just for Argentinians, but for people all over the world. It's incredible pressure. Look, I know our American athletes playing in our American leagues are under pressure, but this is the entire world looking at you and then assessing you as to whether you're the greatest based on what you do in this month, this summer.
There's no more pressure that comes from a country besides Brazil. Sure. One of the best in the world, a powerhouse at what they do, the way they play soccer, the artistic value to soccer, their best player being injured. Named to the squad yesterday, but how does Neymar and his injury affect Brazil going forward?
Well, as we see in a lot of sports, what ends up happening is people talk about exhaustion and the amount of games, and whether it's the travel, the amount of games, and just the fatigue physically and mentally. So there's this interesting thing happening with Neymar, who has been injured over the last few months, and people are looking at it maybe this silver lining where he actually gets a break before the World Cup, because there's a lot of players that are just playing right through, and you know how difficult that is. And so does he come in refreshed and renewed, or does he come in rusty? That's what people are going to have to figure out. But either way, him and Brazil, we watch them because they win.
They're the favorites every year.
We watch them because they entertain us.
Here's my conflict, Lexi. I was born in Jamaica.
Okay.
Jamaica's not in the World Cup.
No, they're not.
Okay, I knew that. And then my Stephanie's from London. I was going to root for England, which is great. But then I saw their uniform yesterday, and the logo was so small. So I need...
So now size matters. Okay,
so now I'm getting back to size. You see how I bring this full circle. As an American who's watching, if it's not Mexico, which a lot of Americans are rooting for Mexico, give us a team to root for. Give us a team to get behind, a team you think could go far that we could really throw our fans
first off, just the story-wise, we mentioned Iceland, a country of 330,000 folks, and they've managed not only to put together a team that's qualified for the World Cup, but one that people recognize can beat anybody in the world. They're not going to win the World Cup, but I think the story behind how they got there, I think the support that you're going to see, the unique support for Iceland, it's not just Icelandic folks, it is people all over that recognize and respect what they're doing. I think they're going to be a really fun story to watch. You mentioned England. Always there's this quiet confidence, and then as soon as the World Cup starts, they think, oh, we're winning, everything's going to be fine, and then they bomb out. Belgium, the perennial dark horse with incredible talent. Can they put that together? These are some of the teams.
I thought you were going to say with incredible beer. I was like, okay.
And, well, yeah, of course.
Belgium might be the answer to this. I'm not sure. All right, so with the Supreme Court saying we can gamble in this country now, tell me a team if you want big return on small investment. A dark horse candidate.
Morocco.
A team. Morocco?
You want big return, yeah. I mean, that's.
But do they have any shot?
Yeah, they have a shot. They actually have a pathway to get to the quarterfinals or something like that. So and then anything can happen. So maybe a Morocco that would give you the money.
Morocco at like 40-1.
Yeah, your safe money's on Germany, as we all know. But there you go. Try Morocco.
What was that, lighting money on fire?
Just burn it up. Thank you, Supreme Court. We appreciate it.
It's all legal now, right?
I love it. Thank you. We're very excited. We'll see you a bunch over the course of the next couple
thank you guys
days
so much.
And weeks.
Thank you so much. 30 days. 30 days.
30 days.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.